If you're looking to take your photography to new heights, no pun intended, then flying a drone is the perfect way to do so. In this video, we will cover the basics of drone photography, including the main photo settings, gimbal movements, and auto and manual focus. We'll also go over the difference between shooting in RAW and JPEG format so that by the end, you'll be ready to take stunning aerial photos with your drone. Hey everyone, welcome to our beginner's guide to drone photography. I'm Adam with UAV Coach, and I've been taking pictures and videos for the past 6+ years, ranging from night photography to landscapes and everything in between. This is part 1 of our photography and videography series, where I'll be teaching you all of the basics of drone photography, videography, lighting and compositions, and finally editing your drone images. So make sure to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out. Without further ado, let's dive in, or should I say, fly in. First up, let's talk about the different photo buttons your drone may have. Depending on your drone, there may be a physical button on the controller to take a photo, or you may need to tap a button on the screen of your smartphone or tablet. I personally have the DJI Air 2S, so for me, I can either press the button on the controller, located here, or tap the picture button on my phone screen. Before you start flying, make sure to know where the photo button is and how to use it. This will make it easier to take photos while in the air. After you know where the basic photo buttons are, we can get into the photo settings. With regard to drone photography, 3 settings are essential: shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. These settings are all tied to manual mode, which, as you're going to see, allows you to control everything on your camera. There is an auto mode option, which has the camera adjust the settings for you, but manual mode gives you more flexibility. So let's dive into each of them. Shutter speed determines how long the camera's sensor is exposed to light. It also is responsible for capturing the motion in the image. By having a slow or longer shutter speed, anything moving will be blurred, and having a fast shutter speed will freeze anything in action. The aperture, f-stop, or f-number all mean the same thing and are shown by this symbol here. It controls how much light enters the camera's sensor and how blurred of a background you will have, which doesn't matter that much for drone photos. A lower f-number, like f2.8, will make your image brighter. A higher f-number, like f16, will make your image darker. Just a quick note, my drone has a fixed aperture, meaning it stays at f2.8 and I cannot change it. Other drones do offer the option to change the aperture, which affects the overall picture. I'll explain this in more detail later. And finally, ISO determines the camera's sensitivity to light. The higher the ISO, the noisier and brighter your image will become. The lower the ISO, the cleaner and darker your image will look. A standard rule of thumb is to try and keep your ISO at 100 for as long as you can. All of these settings can alter the brightness or darkness of the picture, and they work together to create the perfect exposure for your photo. Now, let's do some examples to show how these settings change the image. By having a shutter speed of around 1/1000th of a second, you can see how dark the image is. By sliding it down, we can see how it starts to get brighter. Here's also a side-by-side comparison of when I wave my hand with a slow shutter speed and a fast shutter speed. As you can see, with the slower shutter speed, my hand looks blurred because I'm moving it, and with a faster shutter speed, it freezes my hand in place. And again, I can't change the aperture on my drone, so I only have the option to change the shutter speed and ISO. With ISO, you can see the difference in noise when I take a picture with a low ISO compared to a high ISO. And here's how you can use all of the settings together. If I want to take some drone photos of someone running and want to freeze them in action, I would need to have a fast shutter speed. But that might make the image a little dark, so I need to lower my aperture to brighten it up. And for me, I always change the ISO last because I want to keep it as low as possible at all times. A lot of times, these 3 settings are known as the exposure triangle because all of the settings are dependent on one another. And now that we got the basic settings out of the way, it's time to move to file formats. When it comes to file formats, there are 2 main options: RAW and JPEG. Shooting in RAW format gives you more flexibility when it comes to editing your photos later on. RAW files contain much more data than JPEG files and give you greater control over elements like exposure, contrast, and color. However, RAW files take up more storage space than JPEG files, so keep that in mind when shooting. You can access your file format settings here and choose accordingly. I keep mine on RAW mode. And when it comes to focusing your pictures, you can choose between auto and manual focus. Autofocus is ideal for most scenarios, as a lot of drones have great technology to automatically focus on the subject. Your drone is usually always focusing on the subject as you fly around, but a safe measure to take is to tap the screen before taking the picture to enable autofocus. This will usually appear as a green box in the area you tapped your screen and will give off a slight noise. However, if you want more control over your photos, you can switch to manual focus by tapping the AF button. This allows you to select the focus point and adjust it as needed. 99% of the time though, I use autofocus. The final part I'm going to talk about today is gimbal movements. The gimbal is the device that stabilizes the camera and keeps it level while the drone is in flight. It also allows you to capture photos from many different angles. To control the gimbal on my drone, there is a scroll wheel on the back left of my controller, and I can slightly adjust it to the left or right to have the gimbal rotate down and up. By moving the dial to the left, you can turn the gimbal down -90 degrees and get top-down shots like these. You can also get straight-on shots where the gimbal is flat, or capture shots where the gimbal is at 45 degrees and so on. And now that you know the basics of drone photography, it's time to take things to the next level. In our next video, we'll be going over the basics of drone videography. We'll cover everything from camera settings to camera movements. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching our beginner's guide to drone photography. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. From everyone here at the UAV Coach team, we're wishing you blue skies and safe flying. I'll see you next time.